Welcome to the Waterloo City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bozen.
Here.
Mr. Nichols.
Here.
Mr. Simon.
Here.
Mr. Foyce.
Here.
Mr.
No, one sec, sorry. We got to start with a moment of silence, and you get to lead the pledge. The mayor has a family commitment tonight. We have Mrs. Creighton Smith and Mr. Childs, who are both working this evening, and Miss Wilder is ill. So it's a little light up here on the, make all the jokes you want, but people-wise, a little light up here. Let's start off with a moment of silence, please. All right, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Rob Nichols, at-large council member.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as proposed, as well as approve of the minutes of the January 6th, 2025 regular council session as proposed.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. First up, we have public comments. If you have anything that you would like to bring that is not already on the agenda for this evening, please come up, identify yourself, and you have 3 minutes.
I'm Mary Potter, trustee of the Grout Museum, and also my office is at 1416 West 4th Street. By the way, I want to mention to you people, as you're saying the Pledge of Allegiance, look up how it was originally written. It's one God, one nation under God. It's not one nation, comma, under God. So ponder that.
Actually, I believe, not to interrupt, but under God wasn't that until like 54 or something like that,
you
too.
still need to
So-
look at it, though.
No, I know. I say it. As a former educator who said it every day, like, yep.
Me too, me too. I'm telling you tonight about the night at the museum, a Mardi Gras trivia that's going to be on Saturday, March 1st, 2025. And this is a fundraiser for the Grout. And as you know, we are in need of funding, as is the library. At one time, the city voted to give funds to the Grout, and this was a levy, and it has not been honored. And so we are very short of funds, and we're trying to do some fundraisers. And so this is one of the things that we're going to be having. If you buy your tickets by February 1st, the cost is $50 or is $40 per person, and after that, $50, or you can buy a full table of it. What it's going to consist of is trivia and heavy New Orleans-inspired hors d'oeuvres, a cash bar, live and silent auction. Costumes are encouraged. And we're going to have an MC, Vicki St. James, and we are really needing to have people participate in this. This is a thing for our community, just as the library is. If you don't think the Grout is important and you don't think the library is important, then you don't need to support these things. But these are two things that really draw crowds and people into our city. And I think we need to remember that they pay taxes, they eat our food, they stay in the hotels. There's lots of things that they do for the city. And so I would hope that some of you would be supportive of this. If not, I surely would hope you'd all have a membership with the Grout. And after that, anything else that you're able to help with, we would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Will there be beignets?
Oh, I'll make sure there are if you want them.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
But
They're very good.
No, absolutely, yes. All right, thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to come up and speak?
Hi, my name is Jamie Castle, and I'm a member of the Waterloo Community Playhouse Board of Directors. I'm here to tell you about our 2025 season, the Season of Searching. The season has 10 shows, which include a few newer titles and some classics. Our opening show is The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical. One of our cast members is here to tell you more.
Hello, my name is Henry Castle, and I play Percy Jackson. Our cast consists of 18 actors, all under the age of 18. The show is about when Zeus, Master Lightning Bolt, is stolen. Percy, the half-blood son of a Greek god, becomes the prime suspect. He must find and return the bolt to prove his innocence and prevent a war between the gods. The 2-week run opens this Friday. I'll repeat, this Friday, January 24th. You can get your tickets at the box office or at wcpbhct.org. Can't wait to see you at the Hope Martin Theater at the Waterloo Center of the Arts.
Thanks, Henry. The next show is going to be Intimate Apparel, which will open February 28th. And we thank you for your time, and we hope we can see you at one of our shows.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Miller, and I am a board member of Main Street Waterloo, located on 512 Mulberry Street. I'm here to share a few of the initiatives we've been coming up to support our downtown businesses, encourage everyone to support local all year long. This morning, we launched our Brews in Business networking opportunity, and we're thrilled to have 20 people brave the cold and join us to meet other businesses, learn more about each other, and connect to create collaboration opportunities. Brews in Business will be held the third Tuesday of each month and alternate between coffee brews and happy hour brews to accommodate schedules. We hope to have you join us at some of these. The fourth Tuesday of every month, Main Street Waterloo hosts Support Local Cash Mobs. A business is selected and the community is invited to join us in over a 2-hour period to mob the business with support. This could be shopping, dining, beverages, even gift certificates, so it's a positive mob. Attendees are asked to spend at least $20 and share information with their friends about the location. We're kicking 2025 off with our January Support Local Cash Mob at Hungry Charlie's on January 28th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Please join us for lunch and help make an impact. This year, we're also revamping and relaunching our downtown business meeting to address topics that downtown businesses would like to know more about. Our first meeting of the year will be February 18th to discuss parking. You will receive an invitation to join us for the discussion this week. We hope at least one council member will be able to join us. We're also revamping and relaunching our educational series to provide tools and resources for the downtown businesses to be successful. Our first one of 2025 is planned for March 11th. Thank you for all you do for downtown Waterloo. We're looking forward to an exciting 2025.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Forrest Dillawoo, 1725 Huntington Road. I'm very disappointed that the mayor had to leave us tonight because I think he would find of interest what I have to say tonight. I received in the mail, like I believe every citizen in Waterloo did, a Waterloo Wins magazine. And that kicked off some people to talk to me about it. I asked a couple of them, I said, what did you do with yours? Did you enjoy what was in there? One of them said, I ripped it up and threw it in the garbage. I didn't even read it. I was disappointed with that. Second one said, I threw it in the round file. I didn't look at it. I was disappointed in that, as I'm sure you folks are. Then I had one that said, I read it from cover to cover, looked it over real well, and I looked for the all-in grocery. I did not find it in the magazine. The second one said, I was disappointed. I can no longer get a schedule for the holidays when to put my garbage out because we're saving money by not putting that paper out. They said also the yard waste site, I can't get that anymore. Everybody says you have to go online to get it. Like me, she can't go online. This newsletter is going to come out 4 times a year, and I don't know what cost, and I don't know who's going to pay for it. The all-in grocery, I decided that question comes up almost weekly here to you folks. I decided I'd see what I could find out. I called the Blackhawk County Courthouse. I've heard that it's been sold. Well, at the Blackhawk County Courthouse is still listed Central Property Holdings. They still own it. And they told me that they owe taxes, $39,573. They're in the rear on taxes. They do not have a new owner. They gave me the attorney that's handling the LLC. I called the attorney to find out who is in the LLC, and I was told that I can't have that information. They will talk to the attorney and see if there's some way I can get it. I am very disappointed. This all-in grocery thing is turning out to be bad. I endorsed it to start with because I thought we needed it. And now it's secretive. $2,500,000 of city tax money has been allocated for that grocery store. We have nothing but an empty store. Thank you.
Thank you. I can't address the all-in grocers, but I'm going to have Randy come up and address the yard waste and garbage.
Randy Bennett, Public Works Division Manager. Yeah, when it comes to the new app that comes out, on the app itself, the whole purpose of it was to help increase service, to give like notifications when there's holiday events and stuff like that. Because we had been sending the calendars out, but unfortunately, a lot of times, just the way people get their information anymore, it's usually through apps. But if we're having residents that are having, that don't have the technology and stuff, I would ask them to reach out to Public Works. If you don't have a computer or anything like that, we can assist as far as mailing a calendar to those individuals. Otherwise, if they do go onto our website, there's a printable calendar on there that they can get it from there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bennett. Is there anybody else that would like to make comments on non-agenda related items? Council,
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Bozen.
Yeah, I would recommend if you do call down there to the Public Works, if you can get on their register for their app, and you don't have to have a computer because they'll call you on your phone and tell you any changes in your garbage or that your garbage is being picked up tomorrow. I get those calls on a regular basis, and I really like the app. As far as Waterloo Winds magazine, I don't know. I couldn't answer how it's being paid for, but I do know that there's a number of residents that didn't receive it. A number of people in 50702 didn't receive it, and a number of people in my neighborhood. I got it, but a number of people in my neighborhood didn't get it. So I don't know how it got dispersed or whatever, whether it was, because it really doesn't have your address on it. It just says Waterloo resident. Whether it's something that happened in the mail, with the post office or whatever. But I do know a number of people in 50702 didn't get it. The comment was made tonight that the grout needs money, and we are not living up to our commitment to the levy. And I think we are. And just an example would be that in this week's bills payment, there was an over $50,000 check, more than $50,000 cut for January's money to the grout. So we're still working and working within that levy. And then on a lighter note, Councilman Childs and I, Ward 1 and Ward 2, are going to have our ward meeting or just a get-together at Sidecar Coffee on the last Saturday of the month, January 25th, 1850 West Ridgeway at noon. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
I too would like to know who's paying for the Waterloo Winds mailer, just out of curiosity of how that's funded. I think that's a fair question. I don't know if that's coming out of city coffers or if it's if anybody could answer that, that would be great. One other side note, starting next council meeting, I will be announcing similar dates to sit down with Simon. I'll be going to businesses, setting up a time directly after our council meetings within that week so everybody can hopefully remember it. And I'll have special guests and give people the opportunity to sit down and ask me questions about anything city related. So I'll be letting you guys know about that next council meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing,
Second.
public comments.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are, public comments are closed.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the addition of bills payment 21 for January 13th in the amount of $7,366,470.33, and for January 21st in the amount of $3,328,378.50.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Madam Deputy Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes. We have 3 appointments for boards and commissions. Town Hall with Waterloo Waterworks. That's a continuing. Cody Leisticow, new appointment for the Planning, Programming, and Zoning Commission, and J.B. Bolger for the Complete Streets, as well as this evening we have Michael Kafta, who will be working in our Leisure Services Department as golf maintenance too, and I know he is here this evening. Will you stand up, please? Welcome to the city. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it. And I know Tara's going to grab you. So, all right. Can somebody take items 1, 2, and 3, please?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to adopt the following resolution. The resolution approving a request by Robinson Homes, Inc. for a final plat of Prairie Meadow Estates First Edition for a 49-lot residential subdivision in the R3 multiple resident district located east of Omaha Avenue. Number 2 is a resolution approving a professional service agreement with Terracon Consultants, Inc., of Cedar Falls, Iowa, to perform backfilling observation and soil compaction testing related to the demolition and backfilling of St. Mary's Church and school site located at 2127 East 4th Street and St. Mary's Villa at 123 East Parker Street, and authorizing the city planner to execute said document. And number 3 is a resolution approving a temporary construction easement in the amount of $6,500 with the 11th and Sycamore Condor Association in conjunction with the 11th Street Bridge reconstruction located at 110 and 120 East 11th Street, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the audience?
Just had a
Sorry.
quick question,
Nope,
sir.
Mr. Bozen, hold on one sec.
When it
No,
says,
Mr.
Oh, I'm
Bozen.
sorry, I didn't see him. I was
Mr. Dryer's here.
thinking here,
Yep.
so.
David Dryer, 3145 West 4th Street. Number 2, is there an amount on this?
Mr. Andrews.
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. Apologies, I don't have the agreement with me. I believe there's an amount or an amount not to exceed on there based on hourly billing for what they're out there.
Not to exceed hours, and how much is that per hour, sir?
There's a not to exceed amount, and then there's an hourly billing broken out in the agreement. I can get that to you.
Please email me about that. Thank you. And number 3, temporary construction easement. What's this for?
Mr. Anderson.
Jamie Knutson, City
Oh,
Engineer.
thank you.
It is for, as you all know, we're reconstructing the 11th Street Bridge. There is an easement that we need in order to reconstruct some of the sidewalk along with tying in the roadway because we've elevated the bridge. We have to go back onto private property. This particular property owner, which is where Ito's Bar is at the corner there, has been very difficult to get a hold of. It's taken us a long time to finally get to the point where we've been able to work out an agreement to use the property and be able to do our work and finish reconstructing the bridge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further public comments on items 1, 2, or 3? Going a second time. Council, questions on 1, 2, or 3?
I just had,
Mr. Bozen?
and Jamie answered most of it on number 3, because we're technically removing their drive into that business over there off of 11th Street, just on the east side of the road, and so they'll have it involves signage and changing and everything else because their parking will be coming in off of Sycamore. Is that correct, Jamie? Yes. Okay, so that's part of the reason why that easement is as high as it is because of having to do that much work and change and signage and everything else just for that business.
Okay.
That's all I had.
All right, thanks, Mr. Bozen.
Pro Tem?
Mr. Simon?
Number 2, Noel, if you can answer this or not, is this additional services, this does not have anything to do with the asbestos that was found, or does it have something to do with the recent tear down and asbestos that was exposed?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. So it has to do with the demolition part of it. The basement was like 15 feet deep. So we do have plans to build housing on the site after the demolition is done. So we wanted to make sure to have another party out there to do the compaction test to make sure when the dirt's put back in place, it'll be suitable for development.
So it's not related to the?
Not related to the
Okay,
asbestos at all.
I didn't want to go into it if it wasn't, so thank you.
Right. Mr. Nichols, are you good?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Madam Deputy Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes, 4, 5, and 6.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the following resolutions. First, a resolution approving assignment of real estate purchase agreement with Galactic Development Corp. to Galactic Holdings LLC related to the purchase of land related to the Sunnyside Creek drainage improvements located at the southeast corner of Van Miller Way and West 4th Street. Next is for a resolution approving a temporary construction easement agreement with Galactic Holdings LLC in conjunction with the Sunnyside Creek Drainage Improvements Project located at the southeast corner of Van Miller Way and West 4th Street, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document. And then third is a resolution approving a neighborhood access and equity grant agreement in the amount of $750,000 with the United States Department of Transportation in relation to the Canadian National Rail Yard relocation study located at 1006 East 4th Street, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
All right, excuse me, we have a motion and a second for resolutions 4, 5, and 6. Any public comment on those?
David Jar, 3145 West 4th Street. I guess on number 6, I have not heard any reason why we need to relocate the rail yard. My understanding is that there have been some kids injured because they crawled under the railroad cars and then they moved. Rather than spending this kind of money, would it not be easier to just put $750,000 toward a walkover overpass? Or has that not even been thought about? Thank you.
I think I could answer, but I don't. Mr. Anderson.
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. So this is a grant from the federal government. The city of Waterloo applied for a number of reasons. One, for pedestrian accommodations being slowed down by the rail yard being there. Traffic being slowed down. Granted, yes, you can drive over to Highway 63. That's still out of people's way. There's also multiple locations where it is blocked at times because this is a rail yard. So they're actually building trains there. So there's long periods of time blocking it. When we applied for the grant under the Neighborhood Access and Equity Grant, this is federal funds that were put in place to look at situations like this and to improve transportation and living conditions in existing neighborhoods that are impacted by differing things such as a rail yard. So, as part of the, this is a planning grant application for $750,000. We do not have a match with this. We'll be looking at what could happen if we relocated the rail yard. We could get a new rail yard, potentially that would have better economic development to bring additional businesses to Waterloo as one side of it. The other side of it is moving that rail yard would help traffic conditions in the existing neighborhood where it's at, as well as redevelopment of that site. And with the new one high school happening and changes potentially happening at East High, we think it's in very good timing to look at this grant.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Any further public comments on items 4, 5, or 6? Council questions?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Mr. Bozen.
On 6, I can tell you from experience that I have witnessed some horrific, and I mean horrific, pedestrian train accidents working for the fire department. And if we can do anything to alleviate what I witnessed, never happening again to these people, this is federal money that we don't have a match for, and I think at least let's get the groundwork in and find out what we can do, even if it's feasible to do or not. But the federal government's paying for it, so I can't imagine a better use of money to try to make a quality of life on the East 4th Street corridor better.
Mr. Simon or Mr. Nichols, any? I think, $750,000 for one injury. I mean, that does one person getting hurt or injured certainly doesn't even come close to doing that. So I think by studying this, making our community safer is something we should always look at doing. All right, Madam Deputy Clerk, roll call, please, on 4, 5, and 6.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Voice?
Yes, 7, 8, and 9.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
To adopt a resolution authorizing sponsorship of the high-quality jobs application with the Iowa Economic Development Authority for International Paper Company for the addition of up to 90 jobs associated with the new business at 3230 Leversey Road, and authorizing the Community Development Planning Director to execute said documents. Resolution approving a professional service agreement with AECom Technical Services in an amount not to exceed $33,700 to perform structural inspection and recommendations for improvements and repairs to the West Fifth Street and Commercial Street parking ramps, and authorizing the mayor to execute said agreement. And number 9 is a resolution approving a professional service agreement with Envision Architect LLC in the amount of $420,000 to perform architectural services along with mechanical, electrical, plumbing, technology, design, and renovation of 100 East 4th Street for the relocation of City Hall, and authorized to execute said agreement.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any public comments on items 7, 8, and 9?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
City Council, Forrest Dillaboo, 1725 Huntington Road. On number 7, when this was presented to the public the first time, they said we would have 90 new jobs. This application says up to 90 jobs. In other words, it could be one job. I do not feel like it was properly represented the first time when they said we would have 90 jobs. There's a big difference. We're giving away 66 acres now and another 30 acres possibly later. It's a lot of taxpayer dollars. It looks like it's a good project, but let's put some true jobs to it. We need jobs real bad. You know, we're going to lose some more. I hear the news media is going to be laying off a bunch of their people. This town's hurting. John Deere keeps laying them off. Stores are closed. We need jobs. And if we don't hold the feet to the fire and get some jobs, one job will probably satisfy this. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to speak to it at all, Noel, with the jobs?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. So I have seen the application to the state of Iowa that we are sponsoring for number 7. They have 90 jobs in their application that would qualify for the high quality job creation program. So it is 90 jobs as they are applying for. That's just the way it's worded in the agreement. They're building a 960,000, I think, square foot building. If they could run that with one job, they'd be the most efficient company out there.
All right.
120 they already have.
Council, any questions?
Quick question for Noel on number 9,
Yes.
sir. And because I know you're involved with working on this project, does the courier have an emergency generator? The existing courier building that we're going to move into? I don't think it does. That's why I'm asking.
I'm not sure. We'll
Because
verify that.
Because I really want one included.
Yes,
in this project.
that will be something we'll have if they don't have one there. I don't remember if they have one there or not, but that's something that we will definitely have.
Because we have one now.
Yes.
And I don't want to go backwards, and I don't think, we can get by at a lot of things in City Hall, but I don't think we can get by I don't think our police department can, we need electricity, plain and simple. So I just wanted to make sure that that's going to be included in that project.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and IT and a few other departments
A few
too,
other
probably.
departments might need some electricity,
Yeah, in
but
case something were to happen, so, yes. All right, any other questions on 7, 8, and 9?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, Mr. Simon.
Was that bid out, that Envision for the new City Hall? And also, is the generator that's located on property here, is that able to be moved?
no.
No, can't move them?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. So yeah, we cannot move the generator that's here. That would go with the building as an attached appliance. The other question,
Was this bid out?
was it bid out? No. It's a professional services agreement, so we're looking for people with the professional expertise to be able to do it. We don't, by city policy, we don't have to bid those out, but we just chose to go with them since they're actually working with us on some renovations that were planned at City Hall, so they had a lot of the knowledge for what specifically the police department was looking at needing for some changes here, so we thought it would translate to over there.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Simon, also that generator here, we have to have it for that big tower that's right there for radio communications and all of the equipment that we have down there that we have to function. So I know when we originally had a generator here, it did that, and then when we were changed the tower and everything, when we upsized that generator, it included City Hall, but we still have to have that generator here.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Madam Deputy Clerk, 789, please.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes, 10, 11, 12.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to approve the following resolutions. First is resolution approving a supplemental agreement number 2 in the amount of $8,420 with Intrust Solutions Group Magellan of Denver, Colorado, in conjunction with the fiscal year 2023 construction of a fiber to the premise feeder distribution and backbone network project, contract number 1088, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document. Number 11, a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Eocene Environmental Group of Johnston, Iowa, in the amount of $39,920 in conjunction with the project blackout, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document. And number 12, a resolution appointing UM Bank N.A. of West Des Moines, Iowa, to serve as paying agent, bond registrar, and transfer agent, approving the paying agent and bond registrar and transfer agent agreement, and authorizing the execution of the agreement, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents.
Second.
Thank you.
Apologize.
That's okay. Needed a motion and a second.
was waiting
All
for
right,
Steve.
that's okay. Just waiting.
Reading, sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Dryer, public comment on 10, 11, and 12.
This is number 11, David Drar, 3145 West 4th Street. What is Project Blackout?
Mr. Anderson, sorry, I was reading too.
Noel Anderson, Community Planning and Development Director. So we get a lot of leads from the state of Iowa. The state will have leads from consulting, site selection consultants that they're basically looking at multi-states, looking at multi-sites in Iowa. Project Blackout, we did have some site consultants visit here. And one of the things in follow-up and trying to be competitive for a large project, they asked for some more due diligence on some of the sites that we showed. And so we're trying to get that done with Eocene to basically do a little bit more information on the sites for soil information and things like that to be competitive to go after a large project.
So we are in the running for a large project, but there might be some environmental concerns, so we're having this group come in and do some of that for us. They need more.
I'm still blacked out.
That's okay. That's okay.
Made no sense.
We just need to have this group take a further look at our soil to make sure for this particular company that is looking at a large scale project here that the soil isn't too dirty. So sometimes companies need a little bit extra, so a little more due diligence. It's a code word. It's a code name. So, yeah, no, the Project Blackout is, it's a code word. So that way if there's other people looking at it, then if they come, like the majority of people don't know which company it's looking at. And so because if they do that kind of thing, then somebody could come in and buy the lien. Yeah. So Project Blackout is the code name for them. Yes. Yep. Okay. All right, council. All right.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
that's okay.
Question for Jamie on number 10. The supplement agreement is number 2. I thought we had some other ones for that company. Hasn't there been, what was that? That's from 2023. We've spent a lot of money on this fiber and we continue to have add-ons and supplement agreements. Is this something that was overlooked on their part or on our part, or why is this addition just a change in cost?
Jamie Knudsen, city engineer. What it is for is the more they got into this project and laying out all the backbone for the fiber, they have to cross our levee system. And there are very specific requirements that the Corps of Engineers requires in order to do that. And this company didn't realize that those things were required. So this is extra funding to prepare the applications, make the plans, submit everything, and do all of that work so that they can cross the levee. Otherwise, we won't be crossing the levee and we'll have gaps in our system, so it won't all tie together.
Okay, so the question was, it was their mistake, they didn't bid it out correctly?
I don't know that it was necessarily their mistake. I don't know that, and you're talking about stuff that goes back 4 and 5 years, that some of this, I don't know if they even realized that we had levee systems within the city when they started this project years ago. Randy, I don't know if Randy has anything else he wants to add, or Eric, so.
Yes.
Randy Bennett, Public Works Division Manager. So we had some infrastructure as far as where we had conduit and that underneath some of the levees, railroad tracks, other locations. But then there were some areas that we didn't have that infrastructure already in. So some of it, like Jamie was saying, depends on what's permitting, whether or not the Corps would let you go underneath of it. Some is actually going to have to go overhead. So there's just a few of these areas that, when they were going through the project, we just didn't have those gaps, and they're filling them in. So yes, there is an increase with this, but I will tell you, overall, when you look at the overall project, which I don't want to necessarily say the dollar amount for reasons, but we are millions under the estimate as far as what the cost is through value engineering. So unfortunately, yes, there are some change orders, but we are still significantly under what the overall design was.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you both. Any further council questions? Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes, all right. 13, 14, 15, please.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to adopt a resolution authorizing and providing for the issuance of $3,560,000 general obligation urban renewal bonds series 2025A and leveling at tax to pay said bonds. Approval of the tax exemption certificate and continuing disclosure certificate and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents. Number 14 is a resolution appointing UMB Bank N.A. of West Des Moines, Iowa, to service as paying agent, bond registrar, and transfer agent, approving the paying agent and bond registrar and transfer agent agreement, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document. Number 15 is a resolution authorizing and providing the issuance of $28,590,000 in taxable general obligation urban renewal bond series 2025B and levying a tax to pay said bonds. Approval of the continuing disclosure certificate and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
All right, excuse me, we have a motion and a second for items 13 through 15. Any public comment? Going a second time. Council? All right, hearing none. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Motion
There's so
adjourned.
many of us.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?